Hello and welcome to the first video in my Malaysia 2022 mini-series. After flying from Bangkok to KL and taking care of some business, Cassandra and I hopped on the train and then onto a bus which took us through long, windy mountain roads into the Cameron Highlands, an area known by many for cool weather, tea and strawberries, but also home to a totally unique biodiversity of herpetofauna. Yes guys, I cannot believe it. After so many years, we are back in the Cameron Highlands. For those that don't know, most of you, I did my dissertation here, spent 2 weeks here, and many times in the past, just me on my own, I've kind of camped out and herped alone here for weeks at a time. I'm very familiar with the area, but what I will tell you is it's very difficult to herp. But we're gonna give it a shot tonight. Let's go get some dinner and then I'll catch up with you then. Man, it has been a long time since I've seen this view. Very, very nostalgic. I remember walking down at this time of day, going to get dinner just before heading into the forest, always down towards this hill here. Incredibly nostalgic, so happy to be here and excited to go out and look for stuff even if we don't find anything, which is a very real possibility here. Right under this street lamp here, which is not in focus, is surprisingly the first herp of the night. And it is quite a cool one too. This is what used to be Gonocephalus robinsoni, Robinson's forest dragon. I think it's Malayodracon robinsoni now. Sorry if I'm wrong about that, but I would have put it on screen anyway. And this is a really cool and surprisingly large agamid lizard that you get in the high altitude forests of Peninsular Malaysia. This may occur in the far south of Thailand, but I haven't seen any certified proof yet. But yeah, these guys get huge, and this one's sitting here in just the perfect place. I think it's a big female, and I think it's gravid, so I'm not going to disturb it. But yeah, these lizards are really cool, and I'm happy to see one of these again after so long. Just got to one of my secret ponds. It's so much smaller than it can be. It can be huge at times, but it's really reduced. And although I don't think there's going to be any snakes around here, I did find a very easy to access frog. Wait, am I sinking? And I don't think so. I should be okay. Let's see if we can get us a good look at this. There you go, guys. That is Rhacophorus rhodopus, or I'm not sure if it's still in Rhacophorus. I hope it is. If not, the idea will be up on screen again. Sorry, my taxonomy for all these things in the mountains is going to be so outdated as I haven't been here in so long. But yeah, really nice Rhacophoridae flying frog that has these awesome sort of red webbed feet. Those are really prominent when you see them. And so you can hear these calling a lot with this kind of row of clicks, but not always easy to find. Sometimes they can be difficult to track down, but they're quite common up here. And it's still good to see one around this pond where I could always reliably find them. Okay, just about making it to the little area I want to walk tonight. Just going to do a bit of road walking, maybe stomp off into the forest randomly. First impressions is, well, it's great to be back in cool weather again. And secondly, it's actually surprisingly dry here, considering it's supposed to be the rainy season. So not optimistic of our chances of like getting the slug snake and the nebularis, the endemic pit viper, not endemic, the mountain pit viper tonight. But yeah, we'll see. So pretty funny. I was just saying to Cass, this area here is particularly good for the Cameron Highlands pit viper. And as I finished the sentence, spotted the first snake of the night. And of course it is a Cameron Highlands pit viper. You can't see it very well right now, but that little green thing halfway up this rock wall is a young Trimeresurus nebularis. I'm happy to see this because with the dry weather, even though these are super common here, they can sometimes be kind of difficult to find if you're really dry. Pass the phone up, I've got a really good look at it here. And there it is. This one's got a lot of dark markings on it, almost like damage. But yeah, you can see, you know, those mountain vipers we were seeing in TAC have the red eye. These do not have a red eye. They have a greenish or yellowish eye. Okay, I've realized since we've got such a good view up here, I'm not going to like bring it down, but I am just going to gently maneuver it with this twig so we get a better look at it. That hasn't helped right now. Okay. Trying not to let my fingers get too close. This would not be a fun one to take a bite off. No viper is, to be honest, besides maybe juvenile waggler eye, but really wouldn't be too bad either. He's enjoying his little ambushing in this position here. Nice little true high altitude species. Let's leave it here and see if we can find something else tonight. What's worth remarking on is when me and Cass herp together, we've literally never been skunked. Oh, car. And coming to a place like this, where I genuinely have been skunked on multiple occasions in the past, it was always low-key a concern, but we got that concern out of the way nice and early, and now we can try and find some rarer stuff. Behind this little plant here is another Highlands endemic gecko. That's Hemiphyllodactylus TITIWANGSA, which is a kind of dwarf gecko you get up here. Lots of traffic on these roads and lots of loud bikes and stuff, but nice to see another one of the Highland geckos up here that you never see down the lowlands. And this one's got a full tail too, which is pretty. Still walking along this road, although we don't have much longer left tonight. Tonight's going to be really short because Cass has to go back for a lesson, but just spotted another Cameron Highlands pit viper. Really nicely patterned one, and actually it's quite obvious on this video, but very difficult to spot IRL. Let's go take a closer look. Sorry about the traffic, we're still on a busy road, but yeah, here's a look at their first adult Cameron Highlands pit viper of the trip. First of many, probably, don't want to speak too soon. And you can see this one does not have a banded tail like the Furcatus complex usually do. And yeah, generally it's a really strongly patterned viper. This is a female, contrary to the one we saw before. And you can see that the patterning on this one is incredibly strong. Really nice, actually. I noticed that as soon as we saw it, and like quite a few of these green vipers, it has blue between the scales on some parts of the body, but very, very clear on this one. Awesome, nice to see a big one tonight. That small one earlier was a little bit drab, but this one's certainly an impressive snake. And let's get it on the old stick so I can show you an example of what it looks like. I've left Cass down at the road, I've climbed up on the bank. Yeah, really dark. You see that, guys? Actually quite, I don't know if I've ever seen Nebularis with this much dark patterning, but maybe it's just been too long. But yeah, here, look. You can see it in my hand. Yeah, decent sized little pit viper there for sure. Right, so we're on the way back now, and very close to where we found the adult. I actually just got this lovely little juvenile Malayodracon robinsoni, which has some really striking greens. That adult one was kind of dull. I guess that's how they become when they get really big. But this one, juveniles and sub-adults and even young adults can have this really strong barring on the side with very vivid green. So I was very happy to see this, and nice to see that the common stuff is still knocking about here in good numbers. We haven't done bad at all tonight for like an hour-and-a-half long walk. So yeah, I'm gonna put this guy back, but very cute little cool mountain dwelling agamid. Well, I guess that's it for tonight's very short walk, but great to see that the common Highland endemics, or at least how I remember them, are still abundant around the edges of the urban areas. So very cool. Big day tomorrow. I'll catch you soon. Okay guys, it's the following evening. I went out for a walk in the morning, didn't see anything, it was pretty bad, got denied entry to where I wanted to go, and I spent the rest of the day procuring some equipment. First and foremost, transport. This is going to drastically improve our chances at finding something cool both during the day and the following 2 nights. And secondly, I also got another piece of equipment which I'll show you later. But for now, we're going to get out for a little late afternoon cruise, check out, just scouting some spots, probably won't see anything, gonna have dinner. Then we're going to get out herping properly at night. Let's get to it. I don't know if anyone remembers the cat invasion of our car from Canterbury, but got a cat invasion of our damn bike now. Okay, it's a moment we've all been waiting for. It's nighttime. Daytime herping, you know, amazing if you find something, but so unreliable and really bad for like days of filming. But nighttime, I can pretty confidently know that I'm gonna find some interesting stuff, even if it's not snakes, but I'm hoping we can turn a few snakes up tonight too. Oh, hello bird. But yeah, I got my head torch on. We're gonna do a bit of cruising, bit of walking, bit of digging. Let's get to it. Okay, the night has started well, very early, but I will say before I introduce the snake we found that it is so cold while riding on the bike here at night. And as you can see, there's rain as well, which is especially not helpful for the cold. But while driving the bike with my head torch, I spotted a little snake on the side of the road. Come take a look. Check this out, guys. This little snake here is Macrocalamus SCHULZ'S, or SCHULZ'S mountain reed snake. And this is an endemic to the Cameron Highlands. It can't be found anywhere else. And check out, it may be hard to see on video, but it actually has some really beautiful yellows. Both yellow scales on the neck and yellow interstitial skin and the striking yellow venter. I'm a huge fan of SCHULZ'S, and even though this is quite a young one, the smallest SCHULZ'S I've ever seen, they get Actually quite large for Macrocalamus. I'm very, very happy to see this. Not a common snake by any means up here in the Cameron Highlands. And yeah, look at that. I love these little Macrocalamus, and I was really hoping we could find SCHULZ'S this time, because I really haven't seen that many of these compared to Chanardii and Tweedii, which are the two other ones up here. But yeah, not too much to say about these little guys other than they cruise about in leaf litter and under moss carpets, eating earthworms and other small invertebrates. They're completely harmless and very unknown, so I wouldn't be surprised if many of you, this is the first time you ever heard of SCHULZ'S mountain reed snake. But I'm going to grab a couple quick pictures of this one, and then I'm going to let it go and continue with our night. Just got to a little secret stream and straight away found another one of these guys. Same as the night before. Rhacophorus rhodopus. I was correct about the binomials. It is still Rhacophorus. This one with its nice, see those pretty little yellow and red feet. Okay, I got two interesting frogs here. First one, this one here. I don't actually know. I don't think I've ever seen this one before in the Highlands, despite how much time I've spent here. Some kind of Phylautus type tree frog. But very interesting, and I'll be sure to get an ID on this guy because I just took some pictures. And over here in Cass's hand is a frog I absolutely do know the ID of. This is Xenophris longipes. I don't know what the common name is. It's some kind of dwarf, like one of the smaller horned frogs. Or maybe it's Megaphris again now. You would have seen on screen, of course. These guys live up here in these high altitude forests. And honestly, they're pretty cool little frogs. This is a young one that hasn't developed too much of the horns above the head yet. But I'm sure we will in time, and maybe we'll see another one which is a bit more developed. But yeah, nice frog. Okay, just a bit after those frogs, we got our second snake of the night. This is one I was very much expecting to see tonight, and definitely a new one for the channel. Again, it's a high montane endemic, and we're going to get it out and get a closer look at it. Okay, I got it down, and now you can take a closer look. Clearly, you can tell by how I'm handling it, this is a harmless species. Most of you should have known it was already a harmless species before I got it down. And what this is the lasgallan slug snake, Asphenodipsis lasgallanensis. And for those that are wondering, probably very few of you, yes, it is named after the Mirkwood forest in Lord of the Rings. Actually, a lot of people call this the Mirkwood forest slug snake. You know why? Because the mossy forest up here in the Cameron Highlands supposedly resembles the Mirkwood forest from Lord of the Rings. But yeah, very cute little snakes. They get a lot bigger than this. This is again a sub-adult. But just generally have that cute slug snake Asphenodipsis type face with those cool like red orange eyes and a very silky black dorsum. As the name implies, these guys cruise around just feeding on snails and presumably slugs too, but for the most part these guys just eat snails. And of course, like all the other Pariatidae, that's the slug snake family, they never bite. Literally never. So I'm going to grab a quick snap of my camera of this guy, and then I'm going to keep herping because I believe we've got quite a few more snakes in us tonight. Fingers crossed. So a bit further up the road from before, just found our second Mirkwood forest slug snake of the night, and this one in what I describe as quite an unusual position. Usually I see these up in the trees, but this one cruising along in the grass here. When I first saw it, I thought it would be Macrocalamus tweedii. I just saw a black snake on the ground, but no, a much bigger Mirkwood forest slug snake. So quite interesting. Gonna leave this guy in situ though, no need to disturb another one. Okay, a little while since we saw that last slug snake, but just got our hands on another snake and another new species for the night. Come take a look down here. This is another species of Macrocalamus, so very same genus as the one that we saw earlier, the SCHULZ'S, except this one here is Macrocalamus emas, and this is another very, very rarely seen endemic. Actually, to me, these aren't rare. I can very consistently find them in my method at my locations, but this is one species that not many people in the world have seen, that's for sure. It only occurs up here in the Cameron Highlands and actually only seems to occur on these specific high montane areas. Not quite as pretty as the last Macrocalamus we saw, and a lot smaller. It's kind of got the dull brown dorsum with the very faint spots, but look at the venter. While the other one had a full yellow venter, this one has more of a yellow stripe down the venter. And also the head shape's a bit different. I don't know how well you can see it. Coming nice and close on the head. I'll try and keep it still for a second. That's a head that's made for burrowing. Very cool little species. I'm happy to see. I mean, whoa, look how long the tongue is. I just realized that tongue is so incredibly long for the size of the snake. The tongue is longer in length than its entire head. Here, another very rare Cameron Highlands endemic, Macrocalamus emas. Just got a slightly older and even nicer Malayodracon robinsoni than the night before. This one's a little bit older, has some more prominent markings on it. We can get a better look at them because of its larger size. But yeah, we've already had a decent look at this species, but I thought this one was just worth another peek. First one of tonight as well, surprisingly. Guys, check out what I just found in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night. Yes, that's a Raja Brooks birdwing. Very, very small one as they go, but still, even a small one like this is incredibly beautiful, like a truly stunning butterfly. These are not common at all. If you're just walking around in the forest like I do, especially if you go out a lot at night, you rarely ever see these. But I have seen them up here in the Cameron Highlands before, and this is the closest I've ever been to one. That's for goddamn sure. I thought it was dying, but it's definitely alive. You can see it trembling its wings, and I don't know, it's behaving strangely. I don't know what these are really up to in its ecology, but these sell for huge prices over in Europe and other countries, like pinned preserved specimens. All right, that's gonna do us for tonight, guys. Oh, I gotta be quiet, I'm in a hotel. Didn't film an outro on location because I thought we could cruise something on the way home, but we're very tired. It's after midnight now, so let's get to sleep. All right, you know, traffic up here in the Cameron Highlands is extremely heavy, and we just met a tragedy of that, a victim of that. Sorry about the noise from the cars. That's kind of underpinning what I'm trying to say, but right here we have a still very much alive mock viper, but you can see it's being clipped on the head, and unfortunately, I mean, there's a chance this one could make it, but the chances, in my opinion, are very slim. Mock vipers are quite a common snake up here, and one that we get up in Thailand, one of very, very few snakes you can find in the lowlands, which you can still find up here in the Cameron Highlands. But yeah, maybe we'll hang on to this one, see if he can survive, but I'm not giving him much chances. But because he is still alive and not dead, I figured I'd just show it to you on the channel. We've seen mock vipers before. We saw them on TAC in the recent trip, but first one from Malaysia. He was biting me when I first picked him up, but now he's become a lot more placid. Or maybe it's just because he's blind in this eye and he can't see me now, but yeah. Right, so after that mock viper, the rain came and rained on our parade, quite literally, so we dashed back to the house. Didn't get out for an afternoon walk, but this may bode well for some snake activity tonight, so let's rest up, wait for the rain to finish, and then head back out again. The rain has stopped, the sun is setting, and I'm gonna get out into the field. Let me just quickly grab my stuff together and let's get going. And we are in the field, guys. Yes, checking out a new trail tonight, one I've never been to at night. It's gonna be interesting, could be a disaster. It's even colder than yesterday today. Honestly, it is so insanely cold today. There's only a light drizzle in the air though, and I think snakes may be active despite these weather conditions. So let's give it our best shot. Let's see what we can turn up. Oh, and there's no cast of us tonight, by the way. Hence why I'm undertaking more of a adventurous forage into the forest. She's busy, but she may join us later. We'll see how things go. Depends what time I get out of this place. Okay, we have arrived where I intended. It would be great to see some of the keelbacks, but the objective here is just to find, well, basically anything. See if anything's around, see if this could become a good spot to go in the future. Habitat looks great. Let's go. First find along the stream, which is new for the video, are these Larute torrent frogs. Very pretty little frogs you get along fast flowing streams. This is a nice, decent sized one with very strong patterning on the back. Following on from that last one is an absolutely giant individual. Don't know if I've ever seen a Larutensis this big. Like, let me see if I can get a comparison with my hand. That's a pretty big one for sure. Another interesting frog, this time some kind of pulcrana, I believe. Pulcrana banjarana, or maybe it's banjarana is the genus. I think I've seen this one before up here, but certainly not one of the ones you see all the time, maybe just dotted around streams here and there. Finally got my first reptile of the night. This stream has not been as productive as I hoped it would be, but it's a very, very, very green Malayodracon robinsoni. So green that I thought it might have been Bronchocilla shenlong at first, but no, just another one of these guys chilling out in my hand. I'm gonna put it back and continue on. Man, that was a disaster. Saw absolutely no snakes on that walk. Just a few frogs, one lizard, and that's it. And I put so much pressure on myself to find stuff in the early hours of the night here because activity really does tend to drop off after 11 p.m. and it's past 10 already. So not promising, certainly a little bit upset about that, but still the night is far from over and I've found many things, many good things later in the night here in the past. So I'm going to quickly run back to the bike and then I'm going to try a new spot and see if we can turn up some more stuff. So after the disaster at the stream, I took my bike up to the higher elevations. Not a good idea, I thought, because it is freezing up here. Like, it cannot be warmer than 13 degrees Celsius. It's like 14 degrees down in Tanah Rata, which is like a few hundred meters below where I am. But somehow, there's a snake. Good to know I'm not getting skunked tonight. Check it out, guys. Nice adult female Trimeresurus nebularis, neon green, reflecting in the middle of the road. Man, I thought I could have found one of these like hiding in the bushes, but honestly, like active, I wouldn't have expected. So, you know, I knew that rainy nights can be quite good up here, which is why I decided to come here despite knowing it was cold. But when I felt the temperature, my hands are like red. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be an unmitigatable disaster up here. But no, lovely adult Cameron Highlands pit viper, Trimeresurus nebularis, crossing the road. Not gonna disturb this one, just gonna let it go about its business, even though it's heading back the way it came. But that's not a big deal here because there's absolutely no traffic here at night. This road is actually blocked off to cars. Anyway, cool, good to know. That's an encouraging sign. Here's a cool little saturnid I found up at the very high elevations. You guys know I'm a huge moth fan and I don't feature them enough on my channel. In fact, I film impressive moths a lot and 99% of the time they don't make the cut because I'm always trying to cut the videos down. But let's see if this one makes it in. I am in total disbelief that there's snakes moving out here. Just got the same species as the night before. One of these high elevation rarities. Macrocalamus emas again. You see, if I turned it over, which I can't right now because I'm filming and lighting at the same time, it would have a striking yellow venter. To be quite frank, this one is not moving very fast. I think this snake, like the viper, is extremely cold. And honestly, bro, I don't know what you're doing out here. These are usually diurnal, but I guess it must have got disturbed by something, or maybe the rain like flushed it out. Or maybe it's just out here trying to get a meal in. Who knows? A very lazy, slow-moving meal, but yep, nice to see Macrocalamus emas again. I'm gonna let this one go back into the bushes. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for tonight. It's already past 12, and even though that's the equivalent of like 11:30 in Thailand because of the time difference, which is a ludicrous time to wrap up, I'm not here for herping. I'm just here on a little holiday and was getting out in the evening to see what I could find. And honestly, I thought we could get skunked tonight when I saw how cold it was and we found nothing at the stream, but got a couple snakes. We'll see if we get something else on the way down. I'll be cruising, driving slowly. If not, I will catch you in the next video. I'm up early tomorrow, getting a bus and doing something exciting.